My name is Jason Porterfield, and I'm with the University of Texas at Tyler Occupational Therapy Program. And today we're going to be going over lower body exercises standing, and then we're going to go straight to the mat and go over lower body exercises and lower back exercises while we're sitting and laying down. And the reason why we're going over these exercises is because we want to work on balance and we want to work on strength. And in occupational therapy, we have those tied together when we're doing everyday activities. For example, if we're going to go to the kitchen top and we're going to reach down for an item below to get a pot or a pan, we have to be able to have some degree of balance and strength with our lower body to be able to get those items and come right back up and resume our cooking. That's one example out of many that we do during our day. Squatting, lunging, all sorts of lower body balance activities that we can tie back into what we do in our daily life. So the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to work on some of the basics. In any kind of lower body balance and activity we do, we start with squatting and lunging, okay? And you'll see that in the later poses that we start doing, some yoga poses that require a little bit more difficulty with balance. So what we'll start with is squats. And the way we normally do our squats is we keep our feet about hip width apart, and you keep your feet facing forward, and all we do is just squat down and back up. Now, you can make it a little safer for yourself if you feel like you don't have enough balance. You can keep a hand on a rail. Some people are next to a bedpost or something sturdier, a sturdy chair where it has a little bit of weight to it, and you can use that for support, just as long as you're not putting your body weight through it so it doesn't tip over. And you can do this squatting, and you can do that about 10 times. If we can start by going down and back up, down and up. And as long as you're activating, you can feel your quads, your quadriceps and your hamstrings activating in your upper thighs. And as long as you can feel some of that work, we're going to keep going, okay? So we're going to do a few of these first. Again, you can use the rail for support if you feel like you need to, if you feel like you don't have as good balance. And we're going to do this about a couple more times. 1. All right, good job. So that is squatting. We do that in our daily life, either during our cooking activities or if we're having to reach for something down low in the cabinets, in the bathroom, anywhere. This is very applicable. All right, guys, so here we are in the kitchen, and we're going to take that squatting application to the test, okay? A lot of people, when they try to grab for something, they have to bend with their knees and try to reach for an item in their cabinet, okay? I'm reaching down pretty low to grab a pot, but here's the thing. A lot of people may want to have a hand on a sturdy surface. On the top of the countertop, if you're reaching for something underneath your bed, you want to have a hand on the bedpost or on the mattress, but make sure you have a hand onto something while you reach down and squat and get something out of your kitchen cabinet. All right, guys, the next pose that we're doing is lunges, okay? And this is not so much a pose as more of an exercise, a lower body exercise to get your blood flowing, to be able to strengthen up your thighs, and just to get you stronger in general. So we're going to put our hand here on the rail this time. If you're near a bedpost or if you're near a sturdy chair, one that doesn't have wheels, this will be good, okay? So you're gonna stand with your feet about hip width apart, and then you're just gonna take a small step forward and a small step backward. Now the reason why we're doing that is we're gonna really try to see how far you feel comfortable stepping as far forward as you can in order to get into that lunge, okay? So we want to be able to step a little further out and a little step back, okay? So we're starting mini lunges here, and we want to get to a point where we're getting a good stretch in up in the front here. Now you can choose any any leg you'd like. And we're just doing a small lunge and back, okay? And we still want a hand on the rail if you're near one. If you feel comfortable with your balance without it, then you can try it. But just be safe, okay? So we're gonna do this about 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do, guys, we're going to jump right into yoga poses. And so what we're going to do here with yoga poses is we're working on a little bit more on balance and also lower body strength. The first pose, and one of the easier poses we can do here, is tree pose, okay? So basically we're standing with our feet together, and what we're going to do is lean to one side, and I'm going to lean to my left side this time. It might be beneficial to have your hand next to, again, a bedpost, a bed rail if you have one at home, a sturdy chair where you're not pulling on that chair. You just have it for support. And what we're going to do here is we're going to lean on the left side, so that way we have the weight off of our right foot, and we're going to bring our right foot out, the knee out, and we're going to draw that right foot up. Now, if this is as far as you can get to, then that's okay. Some, in tree pose, you bring it up past your knee. Now, I don't have the flexibility to get that high up, so I'm going to keep it here at my calf. Okay? Now, the next thing to do is, if you feel like you have the balance, you can intermittently let go of the rail as long as you have it near. And if you really feel confident on one leg, then you can bring both hands together. All right, guys, the next pose that we're going to do is chair pose. And like we were doing in the beginning, we were doing some squats to kind of get used to bending and getting you used to lower body strength. In this pose, called chair pose, we are in this position called an isometric contraction here in this pose, and we're staying in this pose for an extended period of time. And a thing about chair pose is that we have to have the strength and the balance to stay and remain in this spot, okay? It would be beneficial, again, to have your hand on a piece of support, such as the bed rail or the edge of the bed, something that's really stable, something that doesn't move on you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch sides, and I'm going to be in front of the support, so that way I can have a hand on it at all times when I'm coming down, okay? So you just want to get in that squatting position first. In chair pose, you want to have your feet hip width apart. And what we're going to do is we're going to raise up our hands and get in that squatting position and hold that position. Now, some people may have this balance. Some people may sway back and forth. They might not have the balance that they can find. So make sure to have a hand on the rail if you don't have the balance where you can stay in this position for a long period of time. We're going to stay in here for another 5 seconds. And come back up. All right, guys, we're going to do some exercises while we're laying down. And the reason why we're doing some of these exercises is because it's important for us to maintain the bed mobility we can while we age, and to be able to have the strength in our core and our lower body still while we're in bed. And so here I'm going to be doing this on the mat. If you have a mat like this, that's great. If you have a bed that you're able to lay in, that's going to be even better too, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and lay down, okay? Go ahead and get your feet up. And we're going to be on our back, okay? What we're going to do first is more of a bridge pose, okay? So we're going to be doing some bridging. And the way we do that is we have our feet up here like this, where our knees are high up, and we have our feet closer to our bottom, and our hands here at our sides. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be pressing through our heels, and we're going to be pressing down through our arms and back to be able to lift up our bottom. And we're going to be kind of squeezing our bottom as we do that to be able to lift up that bottom totally. So it looks like this. Okay? And so this is more of a bridge that we can do, keeping our hands down, pushing down through our heels, and kind of squeezing our bottom to be able to lift up our bottom. So we're going to do that about 10 times, lifting our bottom up. And while I'm doing this, I'm pressing down through my heels. I'm also pressing down through my arms. And I'm trying to squeeze my shoulder blades too to be able to bring my bottom up. This is a really good core exercise. This is a really good exercise for your lower body and to strengthen the muscles, your gluteus muscles around your bottom. And this is also an application where if you feel like you can't get yourself dressed while you're sitting up or standing, then being able to bridge like this to be able to pull up your pants past your waistline and behind your bottom is very important. For our last pose that we're doing here, we're going to be doing another laying yoga pose called the Sphynx Pose. And the way we do that is we're on our tummies here while we're laying down either in bed or on a mat, and we stick our hands out here and we draw them in where your elbows are at a 90-degree angle with your shoulders, and all you're doing is you're pressing away from your elbows, okay? Pressing away from the mat. And by doing that, you're bringing your shoulders back. So it's more of an upper body pose as well. And I'm also feeling the sensation of squeezing my lower back together. And that's really getting that sensation of getting that lower back exercise as well. And that helps with your core, that helps with your lower body, and being able to move around in bed a little easier. And this helps with your upper body as well. So all we're doing is we're holding this pose for about 10 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you can lay back down. You can do this, a few times during your day. If you're in bed, you're about to go to sleep, or if you're about to wake up, then you can do some of these poses to kind of help maintain your upper body and lower body strength. Hey guys, thanks for participating in my video. This video again is important and ties back to occupational therapy in our everyday life by doing some of the standing balance activities and strengthening activities that we did at the beginning of the video, all the way to the mat where we're doing bed mobility exercises, and they have applications to them to be able to maintain our strength to do all the daily activities that we want to and need to do. Thanks again. Again, this is sponsored here by the Occupational Therapy program at the University of Texas at Tyler. Thanks.